Hi guys, on today's video we are talking about a checklist that you should have together before you moving abroad. And we are doing this video based on a request from our subscribers. They ask about what is some of the things that you should have or at least check before you decide to move abroad. So that is why we're making this video today. So what do you think about that subject?
I think it's a much needed subject. I think we covered this before, but not really in detail as a checklist that people need to have. But I think it's a good idea to kind of, and I don't know if we want to call it an official checklist, but it's just something we did regarding when we decided to move over here. So what we'll do is we'll go down the list of things that we checked off as we were preparing our move over here to Dominican Republic.
So yes, you are right. We did a previous video talking about the things that we did before we decided to move abroad. But we decided to do another video just checking, mentioning some points that we think or we believe that will help you when you decide to move abroad. So the first thing that we think that is very important is to have your finances together. And we said that in the previous video, we will mention it again. This is, I think, to me, this is the most important point when you decide to make this move.
Yes, your finances is key to moving abroad. I think that's, like you said, that's the most important thing. Living abroad could be everything, like I always say, but it's not free. You're definitely not gonna live over here for free. So you wanna make sure you got your finances together, and that can be whether you have a pension or retirement income, rental income. You may have a remote job where your company allows you to work remotely, or you may want to find you something online where you have an online job. So making sure your finances are together is very important.
Yes, that is, like I mentioned before, we believe this is the most important point because especially, and you can move abroad to anywhere what you want. But we're gonna specifically talk about Dominican Republic because this is where we are right now. And you don't wanna move abroad thinking that you're gonna find a job here or trying to find a job unless there is something that you really, really want to do or you don't care. You just wanna leave whatever place you are. You decide whatever. But other than that, you should have this part already figured out before you move it.
Yeah, because you know most people who move abroad for whatever reason, they're not moving to other developed countries. So finding a job is a little bit more difficult, and also the wages that some of these countries that we tend to go to for retirement or for low cost, you know, they tend to have low wages in terms of working. And then some countries don't even allow you to work unless you have some type of work permit or you're a resident. So you don't want to come to a country where, number one, the wages are low and you're looking for a job, or two, that they're going to require you to have some type of work permit in order for you to work. And then that process, depending on what country, can probably be a little bit of a hassle to trying to get that type of permit just to work.
Yes, because if you coming to go through that hassle, that probably can get you frustrated, and then you ended up leaving because it's a lot when you have to be looking for a job, especially probably in a country that you don't understand very well and the language barrier and all that, so it can give you a little frustrated. If that is something that we did before we decided to move abroad, is to make sure that we was making some money online or remote work before the move. And some of the things one of the things that we did is to through our YouTube channel, that we make sure that we were monetized before we made that move, and we made sure that we at least was monetized like 6 months prior our move to make sure that that money was coming in.
Yeah, and it was actually monetized longer than that, but we made. But of course, when you first get monetized, you're not making.
You're not making much.
You know, you're not making much. So, but like she said, we did want to make sure that we were receiving the amount that we had in our head, that we were going to have that for at least 6 months to a year. I think we were making it for about almost a year till we realized, okay, we could depend on this income to get us. To
help us out.
Right, to help us out. And not only with YouTube, I was also doing freelance work. I was doing social media marketing, and I was also doing recruiting. In those jobs, I had clients that I was working with for, actually over a year. So at that point, when we realized all our income was stable for that extended period of time, we felt comfortable making that move.
Yes, that is what we did. And another thing that we did, it was picking a day.
Yeah.
Picking a day is very important because you are sure that you're making that move. Until you pick that day, you may never do it, because when you say, okay, I'm gonna do it next year, I'm gonna do it this month, I'm gonna do it this time, I'm gonna do it in summer, it never gonna happen. When you put the date and then you buy your plane ticket, you know for sure you are going. Unless there's something happen, you have to change it.
Right. You know how many people who were supposed to be here before we even got here and they still not here? You know how many people who said they were gonna be here after we got here and they're still not here? They'll say things like, I'll be there in 2022, or I'll be here in 2023, and I'll be here in 2024. That's all they're saying. So if you say you're gonna be here in 2024, when in 2024? You know, you wanna set a date and say, hey, this is the date that I'm gonna have everything together and I'm gonna leave on this date. For us, when we had to renew our lease in 2020, in August, what we did was we set a date for March, because we either signed another year lease or they offered us a 7-month lease. And we didn't want to do the 12-month lease because, you know, if we did that, then we knew we had to be there for 12 months. So what we did was we signed a 7-month lease and said, okay, we're going to be here till March. So we actually put that date on there. So once you sign a 7-month lease, well, of course we could have reneged and renewed, but that wasn't in the plan. We said that we were going to leave in March, and that's what we did.
Exactly. In that moment, we knew that we was gonna put a date in there. Either we were gonna put a date on March to leave.
Right.
That's when we bought our plane ticket, and I think we did it for. It was the 19th of March. I think 19th of March or 21st.
It's 11th, I think, the 11th, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But we picked the day and then we bought our plane ticket for sometime in March to come in.
Right. And one thing we did to make ourselves uncomfortable too at that point was, not only did we renew our lease, we were in a 2-bedroom. And so we decided that we were going to downgrade to a 1-bedroom in order to save, you know, $400 somewhere. And I can't remember what it was the difference. That amount of money until we were able to leave. So we felt like in 7 months, if we could save $400, 7 months, that's what, $2,100 or something like that. Is that right? I don't know. $2,800, something like that. So that's what we did. So we made ourselves also uncomfortable, because if we had to renege, then we would have had to figure out a way to get back in a 2-bedroom and then move all our stuff again in a 2-bedroom. So it wasn't like we could have just reneged and said, hey, you know, we'll just end up staying longer. We would have had to, it would have just made us it just made it more of a hassle to try to renege and then try to get back into another 2-bedroom for another year or another 7 months. So pick a date, make sure it's reasonable and that you're willing to stand on that date and make it happen.
Yes. Until you put that date down,
You
you
never
probably
come.
no, it ain't never gonna happen. And the next thing that you should do is to think about what you're gonna do with your personal items. Like if you have a house and you need to think about what you're gonna do with it, if it's rented, sell it, or do something while you move abroad. Like your household goods, say everything that you have in your house. If you are gonna ship it to wherever you're going, or if you're gonna sell it, about everything where you're going, and things like that. So we thought about that. Well, we was renting, so we didn't have to think about our house, but we have our belonging in our apartment that we needed to decide what to do with it. And we have first thought about it and shipping it over here. That way we don't have to buy nothing over here. Or that we can buy the minimum things that we can over here. But that didn't work. It was too expensive to send everything, especially TV, refrigerator stuff. That was too expensive because those are electronic and they charge the taxes here when you ship those items. And then even the table, like the table set and the sofa and everything else was very expensive. TVs, ooh. So what we did was to decide to sell, and whatever we couldn't sell, we just give it away. And the only thing I think we brought was like things like a set for bathrooms, food that we put in there, things that we like to eat that we know that they probably didn't sell here in Dominican Republic, and things like that. We did boxes and then we ship it over here. But then everything, like we brought towels and small things like that we brought in boxes. But then everything else, for electronic tables and all that, it was all sold And the thing that we couldn't sell, we gave it away.
Right. Yeah, we put everything on Facebook Marketplace and it sold in, a few months or so. So the only thing I was actually attached to was our bed. It was one of those, it was a king size, California king. The mattress was amazing. I mean, when people are moving in the bed, you can't even feel it. And I just really wanted to bring that. But of course that was, that would have been way too much for us to bring. So, but as she said, what we did was we had to sell some things. We had to figure out what was more important to bring over, and so that's what we did. All that other, the furniture and things like that, we just sold it, and the small things we end up shipping it, and we shipped it through. It's a company down in Miami where you ship barrels and things like that. Now she did say we didn't have a house. We wasn't living in a house, but we did have a house in Alabama that was already rented, so we didn't have to worry about figuring out what to do with that home. It was already rented.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I didn't mention, like, at that moment we didn't have to decide what to do with the house when we were living in because we were renting, but our house in Alabama was already rented, so that was already taken care of, that part. And another thing that you need to decide is if you have a vehicle, if you have a car, what to do with it. If you want to ship it, sell it, or buy one over here. Right,
yeah. So I think this one here is, I think, more touchy to people than your actual household items, because, a lot of people like their cars. They want their cars, and due to the fact that, number one, you got to make sure your car is no more than 5 years old to ship it. So if your car's less than 5 years, then you can ship it. Now, if it's more than 5 years, then you don't have a choice. You got to get rid of it because they're not going to ship it over here. But you have to make a decision, and our decision is that we were going to ship our car because we had already paid for it, and cars over here are expensive. And I know some people disagreed when we put that video out and said, "Oh, we paid $6,000 to get our car shipped over here," and the $6,000 covered everything. It wasn't to ship it. It was like $1,100 to ship it, but to get the taxes and the tags. I mean, you drive away with your car, it's legal. You don't have any issues. It was about $6,400. But the way I looked at it is that, first of all, you're not going to get a car for $6,400. Well, you can get a car, but it's probably not going to be the car that you want. And the way these used cars over here are, I just don't trust them. They spin back the speedometer. You never know what type of accident has been in. They fix these things up, man. They shiny on the outside, but they're a piece of junk on the inside. So, but we pretty much bought that car brand new, so we knew what was the maintenance on the car. We knew everything about the car. So it was, for us, for me, it was a no-brainer to ship our own car.
Yes, it is. Some people that say that we probably could buy another car here. We're spending $6,000 to ship the car. Plus, if we would sell it over there, we put up that money together, we buy another car. But like James said, sometimes you buy things over here, it's gonna be more money depending on what you want, and you don't know for sure what you are getting. So for us, it was like, we already paid for that car. It was exactly within the year that you need to bring it. We was in the last minute, and we decided to ship it, and I think that was a good decision because the same car, you could have got it over here, but you have to pay more money than what we already. If you would have sell it over there and then put that money together with the shipping cost for us, we would have to pay a little bit more to buy the same car. So we were very comfortable with that decision, and I will suggest the same. Like, if you already pay for, now if you are gonna buy a new car and then ship it over, probably that would be different. It probably would make more sense just to buy it over here because sending over here probably will cost you more, because taxes is gonna depend on the year of the car and what type of car you're shipping. So all cars don't have the same amount of taxes to pay. So you will have to check with the DGI to see how much the car that you want to bring in pay for taxes here.
And one thing too that I know somebody's probably asking is, can you ship a car here that you're already paying, that you're financing on? And the answer is no, you can't. You have to own that car. They won't ship it. They're going to need to see the title and all that. So you won't be able to ship a car that's under finance. So it has to be paid for in order for you to ship it.
You have to have the title. So, and the next thing that you need to do is pick a location that fits your lifestyle. at the month, whatever you think fits your lifestyle. Because it can be that you pick a location and then when you come over here, you decide to change the location like we did.
Right.
Because we did that.
I agree. You want to pick the location that you see yourself living in based on your lifestyle. And she's right. When we decided to come here, we picked Punta Cana. And I don't know why we picked Punta Cana. You know why we picked Punta Cana?
No, I don't know why. I really can't remember what we picked Punta Cana, probably because, I don't know, it was a town where most foreigner would totally go over there. I don't know what I was thinking about, especially us doing videos. I don't know if that had to do with our decision at that moment. But we picked Punta Cana and we spent some time over there. And we even went to visit an apartment that we got in love with. And the apartment was really, really nice. And we almost stayed over there, but then we decided not to. And then we came over here. I don't know if it was to visit. We rented another apartment for about a month. We stayed over there in that's Gasquet?
Gasquet, yeah.
By the
University?
No, by the president house.
Oh, yeah. By the
With the president,
Palacio.
the Palacio Nacional.
Yeah.
And then after that we decided we were going to stay in Santo Domingo.
Right. And I guess that it didn't fit our lifestyle. I would just speak for me, it didn't fit my lifestyle over in Punta Cana because I said it before, I like the big city, I like the bright lights, I like all the conveniences, I like all the diversity here in Santo Domingo or in any city. And Santo Domingo offered all that. And for me, Punta Cana just didn't fit that bill for me. And again, I think it was the tourism part of it why we picked Punta Cana. And personally, I don't really want to be around all the tourism. I like to be here in the city where it's more authentic. You want to make sure that you pick a location that's for you. And even if you pick that location, like she said in the beginning, it may not be. Once you get here, you start looking around. You may, this not really for me. I think I seen that from somebody where they moved somewhere and they thought because it was a quiet little town, it was just something that they wanted. But once they got there, they were looking around like, you can hear the crickets, nothing's going on. Roosters, what roosters do? I don't know, whatever roosters roostering.
Cantar.
Yeah, roosters roostering. And they was like, no, I don't think this for us right here. I don't think this for us. So they decided to move. I can't remember who did it, but I remember watching the video where this happened. And I don't even know if it was here in Dominican Republic, but I do know that they picked the location based on what they thought they wanted. And when they got there, it really wasn't what they really wanted. So they moved back to the city part or wherever they were.
So in that case, if you are not sure of what you want, you can probably pick a place that you may think you want and stay there for a month. Rent a furnished place, stay there for a month, go around, even visit other areas while you were staying in the Airbnb, on that place, and then visit other towns. And then when you really are sure wherever you want to stay, then you can rent a place for long term.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing that I think, or that we believe that you should have in mind is your budget. What is the budget that you have in mind to spend every month?
Yeah.
Something that we got, or we thought we got, but then we got out of it really quick because we changed our mind when we got here. So even though we have in mind a budget, we say, okay, this is gonna be our budget. And our budget was based on for the house. How much you want to spend on an apartment or a house here. And we didn't do that.
Right, yeah, we didn't. And the budget was based on, it went back to what our finances that we had coming in at the time. We figured, okay, if this is what we're making in our finances per month, a nice budget or a good budget for an apartment would be around $700. Max $800, and we just didn't stick to it. So when we got here, we booked an Airbnb for a month, and our goal was to start looking for a place to stay in. You saw this place online or something?
Yes, we was looking for, then after we stayed a month in the Airbnb, we knew the month gonna be over. I think that we tried to rent it for another month, but I think it was already rented or something like that. So we had to get another place. We started looking for places to stay. and we was looking online. It was so this place, and we visited. I think it was about 3 places. They were nice, but this is the one that we felt more comfortable. And we like the price, and we like the location, and we like everything else. And then I think it was when we saw everything that here was so white. I don't know, for some reason we like how it looked. Like the light, how it looked. So we decided to stay over here.
Yeah. I know one place. I don't know if you went with me that place, but one of them places we went to look at, and I think I was doing something. I just woke up and I put on some stuff, some clothes or whatever, and I went over there, and the guy had I was looking bad, and I don't think the guy wanted to.
Raggedy?
Yeah, raggedy, yeah. I was looking raggedy. I don't think he wanted to sell me the apartment, rent me the apartment. So I say not sell, but rent me the apartment because of the way I was dressed. And it was funny because I'm like, homie, I got the money, but I guess I wasn't presentable enough.
He was acting the part.
No, I wasn't acting, because you know what? He never even called back to say, hey, are you still interested in anything? He didn't say anything. He had like he didn't want to show it to me. He was trying to hurry up and get me out of there, which is fine. I'm glad that we found this one right here, man. And it's been pretty good since.
Yeah.
So remember, how you dress or how you present yourself is key in Dominican Republic. That's the first thing that they look at, is how you present yourself.
Yeah. That is one part that is something go by a lot here in Dominican Republic. If you want to get somebody easy confused, you can too, because people do got that too much. And then sometimes you have a lot of people be acting like they have a whole bunch of money. They don't have nothing. They just have the look. But some of the things, sometimes you have the people that they don't look like nothing, but they have a whole bunch of money.
Right.
And that is where people get confused over here. They go by a lot by how the way you look, you present yourself.
Right. And like you say, it's not always the truth.
The truth, yeah.
Right. So you want to make sure you stay within your budget. And although we went over our budget, I knew based on the finances that we had coming in that it was going to be okay. We were just looking at it from a different perspective, saying that, hey, if we can get something for this amount, we could save X amount of dollars. And I'm the type of person that my motto is, I never say I can't afford anything. I always say, how can I afford it? That's the way I looked at it. Okay, how can I afford it? That means I may have to do this extra. I may have to put some extra time here or do that. But I'm never the one to say I can't afford this. How can I afford it? But I knew that we were able to afford it. So stay within your budget, but give yourself a little wiggle room to make sure that you can maneuver. Maybe you have to go up a little bit, or even if you have to go down a little bit, but allow yourself a little wiggle room, because the last thing you want to do is exceed your budget and you're not able to fulfill those commitments, and then you end up having to maybe return back to your home country.
Having a budget is very important, because you know that you already know, if you already took care of your finances, you already know how much you can afford. And then you want to stick to your budget until you're able to figure out what extra you may have that you can use, or how you can, until you get used, you accommodate yourself.
Right.
But you want to have a budget that you can stick to it. So the next thing that you should consider is, what is the conveniences that you want to get around? Like, what things are important for you?
Right. So certain people have certain things that they have to have around them, and that could be from, be closer to an airport, hospitals, pharmacies, nightlife, restaurants. So you want to make sure that you know what conveniences you need, and this right here would help you determine, help you kind of narrow down the location that you want to live.
Yes, like some people know if they need a hospital around me. I need to be close to a hospital, because if I get sick, or you have a family member that is sick, and some people, they need to have a airport, because they want to be, not because they need it, because they feel more comfortable if in case of an emergency. Some people want to have a restaurant, because that's what they like to do, go to a restaurant, eat a nice restaurant. So whatever you need is, so you want to make sure that you pick a location that have those conveniences that are important for you close.
Right. And for the people who are veterans, you may want to pick a location where they have a veterans clinic. Like here in Santo Domingo, you got Veterans First. Shout out to Bernard. Also in Puerto Plata, you have a veterans clinic, which is MedVets. So those are the type of things that people think about. Like, if they're in the military, they say, okay, where's the nearest veterans clinic?
And talking about that, one of the things that you want to speak or know or have more information before you move is health insurance. Some people need to have health insurance. I think everybody needs to have health insurance because you never know what's going to happen. And now the life that we are living today, that anything can happen in any moment. So that is something that you want to either have together or at least have information. That way when you make your move, you know what to do. Yeah, like us, as soon as we got here, we didn't have the information before we came, but as soon as we got here, we started getting the information, and then in some point, I can't remember when exact, but in some point, we picked a company, and then we got our health insurance.
Yeah, health insurance is key. You want to make sure that you come here with some health insurance, whether you got your insurance back at home or some international coverage or just local coverage. You want to make sure that you have health insurance because you never know what can happen. And I just think that's as simple as it can get right there.
So another thing that you want to make sure it is that you think about how are you going to spend your day when you move. Like if you need a hobby, some people are already retired. If they are thinking in work or picking nothing to do, but you probably don't want to spend your day or every day, all day just doing nothing, because that also can be a little boring.
Yeah.
So you want to think of things that you may want to do while you living your life over here or whatever place you pick. Like if you want to pick any hobbies, if you want to be volunteer, if you want to do some business just to keep you busy, or early clock activities, anything that you may think that you wanted to do when you thought that you wanted to do when you retire or something like that.
Yeah, I think staying busy and keeping your mind occupied is important. You can't drink laying all day, every day. I wish I could, drink laying.
No, you don't wish you could, because we will be. What kind of life can be being drinking laying all day? Like that would be very much wrong. No, now you say have me a drink in the morning and then one afternoon and at night, but drinking all day is not good life.
So you can't drink lay-in all day. You can't chase skirts all day. And be honest with you, you can't drink Presidente all day. But be
watch
honest
TV
with you,
all day.
Watch TV, but some people can. They can do all four of those all day. Drink lay-in the Presidente, chase skirts, and watch TV all day. But that's not something that you really want to do. You want to do something that's, like say, that's going to be, that kind of keeps your mind occupied. I don't say, well, that keeps my mind occupied. But no, keep your mind occupied. Just keep you going. Because I know some people say, we've heard people say that, I'm going to come now, I just want to rest and just relax. And you can do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it when you first, especially if you're retired, you say, hey, man, I don't want to do nothing. The first year, that may be good, just not do nothing. But if you 65, 60-something years old, after that first year, you still got, theoretically, you guys still got about 15 years left on your life. What you gonna do for the remaining 14 years?
But those some of the things are not even healthy. You wanna keep, like you say, occupied. You wanna keep moving your body. That you probably do some exercise, move around. Whatever you pick, it's something that keep you occupied for a minute, and not just go and do nothing.
Yeah, learn the language, learn bachata, learn salsa, join an entrepreneurship group. Just join some type of group, and just kind of keep your mind occupied. They have biking groups here where they bike, cycling, and things like that. So, but just something to just keep your mind occupied. I think you want to know how you're going to spend your day every day. And like I say, you don't have to, you don't want to feel like you're committed to do it because it starts to feel like a job. But you also want to throw, some days, and it doesn't have to be every day. It could be 2 or 3 times a week or either once a week. It doesn't matter. But you want to know how you're going to spend your day, in all seriousness.
Like us, we do some of the things that we mentioned, like we do activities, like we want to learn salsa forever. We haven't picked yet the time to learn it, but we go out, we do activities. But the main thing is that we ain't retired yet. We are still working, so we ain't spend our day doing nothing. We spend our day working. So we're doing everything at the same time. So enjoying our life, enjoying our day, but we also work.
Right. So we knew that our day is going to consist of us working for the most part, and then after that, we throw in our activities.
Our activities, whatever we want to do extra. So guys, this is some of the things that we believe that you should have in mind or at least cover before you decide to move abroad. Some people may have some of the things that they can add to their list because everybody's not the same. So if you know any of the things that is important for you to add to the list that we may forget or that is probably not as important for us, but it may be for some of the people, you can add it, put in a comment down below here, and then we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and I think one of them we probably left out is if you got pets. So that'll be something.
Some people have pets.
Right.
We don't have pets,
Right.
but some people do,
Right,
and that is important for them to know where they can take it. If they have
or can they even ship them first?
they can ship it, yeah. But if they have like veterinary
Dog parks,
and dog
veterinary,
parks,
yeah.
whatever they can, hotel. Now they have hotels and all that. I think I've seen all that here. So.
Right.
Yeah, that is important for some people. So whatever other thing that we haven't mentioned, probably because we don't have. If you have those things that are important for you, you can leave it down here.
Yep.
So this is all what we have for right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And we will see you in our next one. Bye.
Peace.